Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Digital Kuki. Tonight, we bring you a deeply troubling story from Manipur, where tensions between communities have once again erupted into violence. On April 5, 2025, a violent confrontation broke out in the Leilon-Tangnuam area between the Kuki villages of Leilon Vaiphei and the Naga village of Konsakhul, leaving a trail of injuries and deepening the wounds of an already fractured region. This incident is yet another chapter in the ongoing Manipur conflict, where the Kuki community has faced immense struggles. Stay with us as we dive into what happened, the historical context, the Konsakhul Naga narrative, and what can be done to prevent such tragedies in the future. The World Kuki-Zo Intellectual Council, WKZIC, released a press statement condemning the incident in Leilon-Tangnuam, Kangchub-Geljang subdivision, where a confrontation unfolded on April 5, 2025. According to the WKZIC, the clash was triggered by the Konsakhul village chief, who allegedly encroached on Leilon territory, a Kuki-dominated area. This wasn't a one-off event. Tensions had been simmering since January 2023, when a curfew was imposed in the region to curb violence. Despite this, the Konsakhul chief's actions led to a physical clash, leaving several villagers from both sides injured. The Kuki community has long claimed rightful ownership of the Leilon-Tangnuam area, backed by historical land documents dating back to 1917 to 1932, as recognized by the WKZIS. These documents, they argue, prove their ancestral rights to the land. However, the Konsakhul chief allegedly used forged documents, specifically a stamp written in ballpoint pen from 1922, a time when such pens didn't even exist in India, to claim the land. The WKZIC has called this a blatant act of fraud, accusing the Konsakhul chief of being a greedy scammer, fraudster, swindler, deceiver, and liar. We, the Kuki people, have lived on this land for generations. These documents are our history, our identity. But the Konsakhul chief's actions are an insult to our community. On April 5th, when we saw machinery on our land, we tried to stop them peacefully, asking for the status quo orders to be respected. But they attacked us. Our brothers and sisters were injured. This isn't just about land. It's about our survival, our dignity. The Leilon-Tangnuam incident cannot be seen in isolation. The Kuki community in Manipur has been grappling with immense challenges since the ethnic conflict erupted in May 2023 between the Kuki-Zo and Meitei communities. Over 200 lives have been lost, thousands displaced, and villages burned. The Kukis have faced what they describe as targeted violence, often feeling abandoned by the state machinery. The WKZIC has accused certain groups of labeling them as Kuki refugees in video clips and social media, a narrative they say is meant to delegitimize their rightful place in Manipur. For the Kukis, the struggle is not just about land, it's about survival. Families have been torn apart, children have lost their homes, and the community has been pushed to the brink. The Leilon-Tangnuam incident is a painful reminder of how vulnerable the Kuki people remain, even as they try to rebuild their lives amidst the ongoing conflict. On the other side of this conflict is the Konsakhul Naga narrative. The Konsakhul villagers, led by their chief, claim they were acting within their rights to develop the land in question. They argue that their actions were part of a broader development plan for the area, which they believe they have a historical stake in. However, the Kuki community disputes this, pointing to the forged documents and the lack of adherence to legal orders such as the status quo directive issued by the Kangpokpi district magistrate on April 2, 2025, which prohibited any construction or development in the area to maintain peace. The district magistrate's order was clear. No construction or development activities were to take place in the Leilon-Tangnuam area to prevent further unrest. Yet on April 5th, the Konsakhul villagers, backed by their chief, proceeded with their plans, leading to the violent clash. The Kuki community feels this was a deliberate provocation, ignoring the legal framework meant to protect both sides. So, how can such incidents be prevented in the future? First, strict enforcement of legal orders is crucial. The Kangpokpi District Magistrate's directive, if followed, could have averted this clash. Second, dialogue between communities must be prioritized. The WKZIC has called for both the Kuki and Naga communities to come together and resolve disputes peacefully, ensuring that neither side is blamed unfairly. The Leilon-Tangnuam incident is a stark reminder of the deep divisions that continue to plague Manipur. For the Kuki community, it's another wound in a long history of struggle. First in the ethnic conflict with the Meiteis, and now in this clash with the Nagas. But there is hope. By fostering dialogue, respecting legal frameworks, and addressing historical grievances with fairness, Manipur can move toward healing. The Kuki people, like all communities in the region, deserve peace, dignity, and the right to live on their ancestral lands without fear. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us on Digital Kuki News. If you found this story impactful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged,